Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm a little bit of a frump today and I'm wearing a baseball hat because I got my eyebrows microbladed yesterday. So I'm trying not to touch them, that's why they look really dark. They also look really shiny because I keep having to put Aquaphor on them to help them heal. So I'm a bit of a mess, but I have to do my nails and I wanted to continue my manicure series. This video, I want to try my first at-home dip powder system. The kit that I picked up is available at Sally's Beauty Supply. It is the ASP Quick Dip Starter Kit, and it comes with all the products you need to do your own nails at home, as well as this cream soda color. It's kind of like a nude, and this rose petal pink color, which I think I'm going to be using this one today. Just like the last video, I want to keep this very informal and fun. Before we get started, let me tell you that while dip seems very simple, after reading the instructions, it was a little more confusing than I thought, and there were a couple more steps than I was aware of. So what I actually did was watch a bunch of YouTube videos and found some other blogs and read the reviews for this kit to figure out exactly the way to use these products. So I actually went through and made a list, like an order for how to do things. So I'm gonna follow this. I'm pretty sure it's right and hopefully it works. This is gonna be a tutorial, a demo, a review. Obviously, I don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know how it's gonna last. I don't know how it's gonna look. So we're kind of all in this together right now. Hopefully this video is not a total flop, and if it is, I may or may not put it up, but I'm excited to get started. So what I'm gonna do is bring the camera down so you can get a better angle of my nails, and we're just gonna get going. Okay, so I debated filming this overhead, but after looking at it, I think it might be easier for you to see at this angle, just because we're gonna be dipping into the powders, and it's a little bit easier to understand. So the first thing I'm gonna do is clean and prep my nails. Now I just removed a gel and I kind of cleaned them up, but this nail is broken, so it's a little shorter than the rest. I wanna file them all down so that they match, and then I'm gonna buff the top layer gently off my nail, just a little bit to remove the shine. So I'm gonna take this Tropical Shine file. It's a medium grit 220/320. File my nails down just a little. I wanna keep the shape, I just don't want them to be as long. And like my other manicure videos, I wanna just like chat with you guys as we're doing this because I think it's fun. It's like we're doing our nails together. Hopefully, maybe you're doing your nails as you watch this and it's like we're hanging out. So I have been dying to try my own dip powder system. I wanted to pick one up that's just readily available to people, which is why I picked this starter kit that you can grab at Sally's. The Quick Dip Starter Kit is about, I think it was $38. And it comes with everything you need to do your own dip nails at home except for files. If you know anything about dip manicures, you have to buff and file your nails kind of throughout the process. So I have a bunch of files at home, but I also picked up a couple more. A lot of people recommend using an e-file. I used to have one of those. I don't know if I got rid of it or where it went, but I'll probably look at investing in another one if I really like this dip. Kind of have a lot of filing to do. I was gonna do this off camera, but I feel like these videos, I wanted them to just be like true start to finish manicures. My nails have been growing a lot, but they're still very thin, so I have to be careful not to break them. But I'm really excited to see how this dip works and how it lasts. A lot of people have mentioned that once they did it, it just kind of like popped right off. And that freaks me out. I can understand if it's just not good. You know, maybe it doesn't last that long, maybe it chips, maybe it lifts. But if it just completely pops off the nail almost immediately, that's kind of a cause for concern. So we're gonna see what actually happens with that. And hopefully that's not the case. My nails are curving inward a little, which I don't like. They curve in like this. Kind of like a little half moony situation. But when I got dip last time, they didn't. They laid very flat. So I'm hoping that when I do my own dip, they'll do that as well. I don't know how short I want to go. I don't know if this is short enough. I don't want to make them all as short as the one nail that broke because I think that one's a little too short. If I round them up a little, they'll match just a bit better. I always measure them like that. Yeah, this one's still a little shorter. I figure that I'll be able to shape the nails once the powder is on. I feel like anytime you apply polish, the shape of your nail looks so much different than it does when it's naked. Sometimes that can really change things. Okay, I think those are good. On to the other hand real quick. All right, I think they're all at a pretty good length now. So what I'm gonna do from here is lightly buff the surface. Now, when I went to get a dip done at the salon, they took an e-file and kind of filed around the perimeter. I don't want to do anything too harsh, but I am gonna bump up the grit and use something a little heavier just because I think it helps the dip adhere to the nail. So we're gonna lightly buff, I think just like at the bottom and around the edges, and then lightly over the nail, like that. All right, now it doesn't say this, but I'm gonna go wash my hands real quick and then I'll be right back. All right, they're all clean. Sometimes when you file, there's a little bit of a leftover, like the nail creates this, I don't know what that's called, but I'll just take the corner of a buffing cube and kind of go under my nail real quick like that, and it'll get rid of all those. Just kind of nix them right off. We're ready to get started. So I wrote out the instructions for what I think is gonna be the best way to do this. The instructions are really confusing. You'd think it was simple, but it's not that simple. So the kit comes with a nail primer, a nail base and top coat, a gel activator, and then a brush cleaner. It also came with those two colors, the one I showed you at the beginning, and then this pink rose petal, which I'm gonna use today. So this is everything that we're gonna use. I also brought down a little brush to dust off the excess, and then I have a bunch of different buffing cubes on the table as well, and a cuticle oil, which I don't know if I'll need that or not, but it's good to have on hand. I'm gonna set all of these over here so they're out of the way and get everything set up. So they recommend working one nail at a time. So what I'm gonna do is prime a nail, paint the base coat, dip it, and then move to the next nail and repeat those steps. And then I'm gonna do the whole thing over for the second coat. Ready? Is that a good, oops, great, I'm making a mess already. I think I can probably prime them all off the bat. And the primer you don't have to be super clean with because it's just gonna help dry out the nail. Nothing is sticking to this, it's just a dehydrator. I'm gonna set that aside, and then I'm gonna take the gel base and top coat. I think I'm gonna start on the pinky. Here we go. Take a little bit on my brush, and I wanna be careful not to touch the cuticles because anywhere this sticks is where the powder is gonna stick. And then I'm gonna dip it into the powder at like a 45-degree angle, and I'm gonna leave it for a minute. I think some people take it out too quick, and then you're gonna tap off the excess. That looks pretty good. Let's move on to the next one. I want this to focus though. It smells like nail glue. Okay. Into the powder we go. This little container is kind of small. I actually feel like I have a little bit of a hard time getting my finger in it. It's probably good. Tap off the excess. I mean, I think they look pretty good so far. Definitely a little like lumpy looking, but I haven't brushed them off yet, and obviously we're doing another coat and then we're gonna buff, but. Sounds a little bigger. This is definitely kind of messy. How do I get it out? All right. Like any at-home manicure, you just want to take your time, and you can totally do it yourself. Okay, so they recommend brushing off the excess. Try to catch any extra in the container. And they say you don't want to do it too quickly, which is why I waited to brush them all until the end. I think the powder applied pretty well. They said some of them might be patchy. I think my thumb is definitely a little patchy, like around the edges. It's not totally clean, but the rest of these nails look pretty good. I'm excited to see what 2 coats look like, and then to buff them all out at the end. We're gonna repeat. We're gonna start again on the pinky. We're gonna dip it. I may end up having to do 3 coats, you never know. I'm not opposed to that. I almost feel like I should have used that cream color underneath the pink. I feel like it might have made it pop a little more. It's kind of fun. I really like it so far. I mean, obviously it's not anywhere near done, but so far so good. All right, we're gonna take it out, tap it off. I think it does help to leave it in a little longer than just like a quick in and out dip. I've done acrygel manicures in the past where I'll do a layer of acrylic in between my gel, and I noticed that when I leave it in longer, it definitely soaks up more of the powder. If you go quick, it doesn't really soak down to the nail. I was really worried about this brush getting dirty as it goes over the powder, but if you tap it off well and then use a brush to clean it in between coats, I think you'll be in pretty good shape. I really haven't noticed it pulling any powder, which is great. Okay, the thumb. The thumb is honestly the hardest part for me. I'm gonna back up over here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but you guys get the gist. I just need my hand to hang off the table. I gotta fill in a couple of those missing spots, so I wanted to make sure I really got the entire thumb covered. All right, so here they are before I brush them off. They look pretty good. I wish they stayed that color. It's a little more opaque than I think it actually is, but now I'm just gonna brush it off again, hopefully catching some of it in the container because I can see you wouldn't want to waste it. I don't know if I should do 3 coats. I like the way 2 looks, but I do know that we're gonna have to buff. I don't want it to be too thin, but I feel like 3 coats of color is a lot of color. And they're already looking a little thick to me. So you know what, I think I'm gonna hold off. We are done with the color for now. I'm gonna seal that up, put it to the side, and brush off everything. So now what I've gathered from the most popular tutorials and demos out there is that we're gonna do 1 coat of the base again, and then we're gonna do a coat of the gel activator and let it dry before we start buffing our nails. So I hope that's the right way to do it. We'll find out. Let me open this one so it's ready to go as well. Can I tell you what I love about this so far over gel is that there's no light. Really, really nice not having to go into the light for a couple reasons. One, I can just like continue on with the manicure. I don't have to stop and wait a couple minutes between coats. So in theory, this should be much quicker of a process. And it's also just not as bad for your hands, you know, sticking it in that light. I am so sorry if this is not staying focused. I can't really look at the camera and at my nails. I'm doing my best. I really hope I'm doing this the right way, and I wasn't supposed to activate it right away, but I think it's okay. All right, let's go through and activate these really quick. I can't tell if this is a polish or just like a liquid. I'm nervous because this hand looks pretty good, but I feel like my right hand might come out terrible. It's not impossible by any means, but I can definitely see how, you know, practice will make perfect with this. All right, so the activator is on. It says let them dry for about 2 minutes. They look pretty good far away, but if you look up close, you can see they look a little gritty. They look very gritty, actually. Yeah, not ideal, but we're gonna let them dry and then hopefully, oh, it already feels kind of dry, but I'm gonna let it dry just a little bit longer. They do feel pretty hard. I like that. All right, I'm gonna start buffing, I guess. So I have a really heavy buff, but I don't know if I wanna use this. Maybe something a little less. Maybe we'll go back to the pink one. I'm gonna start with my pinky and just see what we're working with. I'm gonna do my best to stay away from the cuticle and the side of the nail. It does file out pretty nice. Okay, it's buffing out much nicer than you would think. Based on what they look like after that activator, they look super lumpy and gritty, but I'm pretty happy right now. Do you see that compared? It's very smooth, very, very smooth. I'm gonna take the really fine buff right now and go over it. And I want the sides to kind of be flush. Wow, guys, I'm really pretty impressed right now. That's that. I think I'm gonna do the rest of them now. The pink worked really well, so we're gonna stick with this. I can see how this could be really rough on the skin around your nails. I'm definitely not being as cautious as I probably should be. I'm obsessed with this series, my Mani series. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. I just love nails. I love doing my nails. I love my light pinks, but I kind of wish I did a color because now that I know it came out pretty good, I feel like I'm gonna get kind of bored of this, but it's okay. This one looks a little thick on the edge. Do you see that? I don't know if you can. I don't like how this looks. I'm gonna try to smooth it out. I think you can take a file then, and any nails that maybe look a little uneven. I already can tell I like how much stronger these feel than gel. All right, I can't tell if I like the thickness or not, or if I want to go a little thinner. I think they're pretty good. Once your nails are all buffed and filed, they want you to go back with this step 2 and use it as a top coat. You can do 1 or 2 coats, but I'm gonna be honest, after using it, I don't really know if I want to use it as a top coat. I think they want you to use this and then the gel activator. I don't know, should I do it because that's what you're supposed to do? I almost feel like I should, but I'm kind of scared. I guess I will, just because this is a review of the system and I should probably just do it the right way. All right, let me go rinse my hands real quick because I don't feel comfortable putting a top coat on with all this like powder around, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm looking like a total scrub. My eyebrows are getting shinier by the minute. I just rinsed my hands. These nails look so good. I actually am so happy. They look awesome. Now, after reading the instructions again, it says that once you finish filing, all it says is finish with a top coat for shine. To me, that doesn't sound like finish with step 2. It sounds like finish with your favorite top coat for shine, or I bet you could just leave it like this if you want more of a matte look. So I actually really like how it looks right now. I don't know if I need a top coat. I think what I'm gonna do is my whole second hand and then see how I like it together when both hands are done, and then go from there and decide if I want to do a top coat or not. So I'm going to do the second hand off camera because you don't need to sit and watch me do the exact same thing again. Plus that's just a lot of filming to edit. I'm going to do that, look at them both together, and then decide. If I do a top coat, it'll probably be the Essie Gel Setter just because that's one of my favorite top coats of all time, and I'll come back and show you. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, it is probably almost a half hour later and both of my hands are now done. I think they look pretty good. I'm gonna show you both of them. There's room for improvement and I can see how this could get a little difficult, especially for someone who's not used to doing their own nails. I can see how it could get a little sloppy. But I'm gonna put the camera down and we're gonna do a top coat. Okay, so here are both of the hands. This hand definitely didn't come out as good as this one. It's always harder for me to do my own right hand. I got a little sloppy with the activator, so it looks like some of it flooded the cuticle and the nail bed. So once the top coat is on, I'm gonna apply some cuticle oil and then just try to clean it up and maintain it over the next couple of days, like pop it off. So I decided that I do not want to use their top coat. When I was doing the final step before buffing on this hand, where you apply the gel top coat and then the activator, it just made such a mess on this hand. And then the activator brush started getting a little hard, like a lot of people said would happen. So I just want to avoid that. Plus I didn't really like the shine of it, so I'm just gonna use my favorite Essie Gel Setter Top Coat. It's nice because you really don't need to use their product to finish this. You could also paint like a regular nail polish color on top of this if you wanted just hard nails. But you hear them, they're like, they're hard, they're perfect, and we're gonna finish them off right now. Hopefully you guys can see this. And with regular polish, it's good because you don't have to be, I mean, obviously I wanna be very precise, but if that makes a mess, you can easily clean it up. I am gonna cap the edges here. All right, they look nice and shiny now. Oops, naturally I just smudged it because that is what I do. Let me do this hand real quick. All right, these are done, and try not to touch them, but they look nice and shiny and beautiful. They're hard as rocks. Overall, I'm really happy. We will see how well they hold up. We'll see how well they wear, but I'm pretty thrilled. I really liked the system. I would recommend it if you're looking for a system to try. I mean, maybe hold off until I let you know how the nails actually hold up, but in terms of application, overall, it was pretty good. You've got to be patient and you have to take your time. I'm so happy. I'm just so happy my nails are done. Anytime I do my nails, I just feel like a new woman. Now, I filmed this manicure last week. Unfortunately, it barely survived a week. I'm really not happy with this manicure. The ASP Quick Dip kit that I tried definitely wasn't my favorite. I don't want to give up on it completely, so I might revisit it with some of the tips and tricks that I have found online and that some of you guys have sent to me. But overall, I really didn't like it. All of my nails were lifting. All right, so they started to lift, every single one. You can see where the bubbles are. Here, oh my God, they're so bad. They've been snagging my hair. They've been snagging the fur on my pillows. They're just making such a mess, and I'm over them. Like, it's been 1 week and I'm 100% over this manicure. So like I mentioned, I still love the concept of dip manicures. I am gonna give this one another shot, and I'm definitely gonna try some new ones. I've gotten recommendations for Rossi nail. I wanna try the Kier Sky. A lot of people have recommended that. I've heard Red Carpet Manicure is really good, and then of course I wanna try the gelish system because I'm just a gelish junkie. Anyway, I'm about to film a removal video for this right now, so stay tuned. That'll hopefully be up next week. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and I will see you guys in the next one.